Fire horse energy, baby. Mm. Yeah, so this is bringing forth the message of now that we have all shed our skins, because we've wrapped up the year of the snake and we have stepped into the year of the horse. This is yang energy. This is fire energy. This is the energy of action and momentum. That the past no longer has anything interesting to offer to us. And when it comes around knocking on our door yet again, the grip that it once had will not be as compelling. And that will be the evidence that you have done the work, that you have registered what you needed to do as far as utilizing the energies around you, energies within your own cycle of life, energies within the collective, whatever has kind of presented itself to you over the last year that might have challenged you or incentivized you, you have actually stepped forth beyond a threshold where goals are closer within reach. Things that you are still working on are now infused with some of your own kind of potent creative fire that you have been able to unearth by letting go of the things that don't serve you. People, places, things, ideas, vibrations. When the past comes knocking, you don't need to worry because you don't live there anymore. Anything that at one point in time drained you or compelled you to like lower your standards or to hold limiting beliefs, there's a sense of that can't even kind of grab your attention. It can't attach. It can't have the same effect because it's reaching for a version of you that you no longer embody. So this is encouraging you as well to recognize yourself as torchlight. You have become that torch. You are lighting your own way forward. And for a lot of you, this is going to be a year of really like big changes that happen very fast. Things where it's kind of like I was reaching for a long-term goal and then something better came along and it fast-tracked me to a level of success and abundance that matches the abundance mindset I have been seeking to cultivate. And I now am a firm believer in the power of manifestation, aligning that internal reality with what you're hoping to experience externally and taking the steps that you are guided to take until that external reality matches the feeling, not so much the specific details, but the feeling of wish fulfillment and satisfaction inside. This is the time to really tune into that. It feels like this is an opportunity to not have to pour so much into that energy of self-belief, to pump yourself up, to lift yourself up. If you've been using mantras and affirmations to kind of raise your spirits, there's a sense of stepping through this gateway, stepping through this portal now until, the next Lunar New Year in 2027. There's going to be less of that kind of, forcing a smile, less of that sort of like trying to convince yourself, I love myself, I accept myself, I'm worthy of the life that I deserve. That this will come naturally. You've set the right sort of wheels in motion inside of yourself. So even coupled with the fact that we're in the year of Wheel of Fortune right now, year 10, because 2026 adds up to 10. It feels like this is a time to get really excited. This is not a time to fear counting those chickens before they have hatched, because a lot of you have been incubating some really good energies. You've been feeding yourself into really positive things, really uplifting things. You've been doing your best even to just kind of endure until circumstances are more fortunate for you. And this is something that it feels like there's going to be a reverberation from the universe that helps kind of reinforce for you that you made the right choice. And you're not going to be kind of like marching forward on your own in this kind of lone energy, but it's like you've got the power of the universe at your side, at your beck and call, like a team of horses kind of pulling your chariot forward. We've also got the Page of Swords. So this is an encouragement for you to take some time right now to set some new manifestations. Like what did your heart desire? Your wish is my command. This is kind of the energy that we have to work with right now. We're not in a yin energy. It's not a yin year, which would be that feminine polarity, which is more that introspection. It's building behind the scenes. This is yang. This is that masculine polarity. This is stepping out, stepping up and stepping out, getting into the spotlight. Maybe that's metaphorical for some people or literal for others, but this is really encouraging you to get very specific about being demanding with what you want, announcing it to the universe, not like, well, please, if you could see fit to kind of, give this to me in divine timing, I'd sure appreciate it. This is being very bold, very direct. Like, I have earned this level of love in my life. I have earned this level of success. I have earned this level of abundance. I have earned this level of peace. I have earned this level of joy. How can I prove that to you, universe? Because I try to be the living embodiment that matches that vibration in any way that I can on a daily basis. This is walking forth from this moment forward with confidence, knowing that you have done the heavy lifting and hard work to come to this point in time. For some of you, there's going to be manifestations that start to come in very soon that are going to really make you excited. Little things that you tried to call in, that when those pop up and they're very pleasing and satisfying, it's like, okay, now I'm going to get more specific. I'm going to get more elaborate with my to-do list that I give to the universe. These are the things that I want. This is how I can show you that I am the right and proper person to align with that, to be a good caretaker of these manifestations, and to help sort of further them on along with myself into their most abundant fashion and form. So definitely set those intentions. This is that time to make that new sort of manifestation list, or if you have like a vision board, refresh that in some sort of way. If you're somebody that likes to journal your manifestations, you sort of script it out and then it comes to be, there's a sense of like, go back in, revise that, fine tune that, become more wordy with it. Some of you have made it very just kind of tight and concise, and this is the time to use that flowery language. This is the time to pour your emotions into it. Specific has worked, but now is the time to get very loud with that. We also have the Six of Wands. So yeah, more of that fire horse energy. It feels like this is kind of like the ships are coming in for, it's like Three of Wands energy times two. So it's like double the blessings. The ships come in and then more ships come in. There may be things that are arriving ahead of schedule for you, or a lot of things that this year is going to hold, where it's kind of like the love sector of your life really blossoms. The money sector of your life really blossoms. Your relationship with yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you're moving through the world, how others are interacting with you, that really blossoms. Anything that you've been trying to kind of like work on behind the scenes or work on within yourself, this is the time where that you're that walking sunlight. You've kind of infused these manifestations or your process so far with a deep emotional energy that was like the water. You have watered these seeds of potentials. You've let the rains come upon them. And now's the time to recognize yourself again as that embodiment of sunlight. Now you are becoming that stimulating force in conjunction with, kind of the energies around us, the energies in the collective, and, cosmically speaking, the energies at this particular point in time, to where there's a lot more certainty that you can step forward with. It is beyond that kind of rough draft stage or, kind of that first attempt. This is something where, again, like these manifestations start coming in for you and you're going to be like, hey, this really works. Like I kind of just was trying this on a wing and a prayer, and like maybe this will happen, maybe this will be the way in order to kind of make that best life for myself in the here and now, instead of just sitting on the sidelines and waiting for that to happen, holding my hand out and waiting for it to be kind of delivered to me. Anything that you have done in order to hasten that process or to align more with that process, it's going to start to reveal that like, yeah, this is effective, this works. You've shifted that internal state of being to align with your desired reality. And so the imprint that you are making on the world around you and the things that you are reaching for, as well as the things that you've rejected, part of that skin that you shed in the last season in Year of the Snake, all of this has readied you into this place of like, you're the right person, it's the right time, things are working out for you, like one thing after another, that it feels like this is going to be a very important year for you to really look back on as sort of like food for thought in, you know, future years, future decades, when you're like, hey, I'm seeking a change, there's something that I want to embody, there's kind of like more I want to experience to life than this, which is natural. That happens to us periodically or cyclically within our lives as humans. We are not supposed to just kind of walk a linear path. That's why we have our beautiful minds that we do, and the world around us changes, so that there is something to be curious about, so there is something to reach for, so that there are things to release so we can make room for better. This point in time and kind of all the legwork that you've done up to this point in time, for some of you over the last year, or this can even be something that is like a decade-long cycle. This will be that pivotal point in time where you remind yourself of like, hey, that uphill climb, that shift in the narrative arc in a different direction, changing my life for the better, or learning to kind of go with the flow and the momentum of changes that are outside of the realm of my control, I can do it. And I won't even just survive these things or make it through or get by or get a little something, but this is the experience of like you're stepping into that embodiment of what it is to thrive. Yeah, and we also have strength. So this is reminding me of like Lionsgate portal, August 8th. That may be something for a lot of you that is very significant this year. There may be something that had been a manifestation, maybe last Lionsgate portal. That's all about the energies of alignment with cosmic forces, anchoring that down into the material realm. And there's a sense of, as you walk through the months to come and, you know, sort of we reach that pivotal point, in an earthly sense and in a cosmic sense as a collective, you know, that this is something that it feels like those other manifestations that come through, maybe something that you had, you know, that had been your kind of 8-8 wish, that had been sort of something that you tried to supercharge as far as those intentions, those manifestations, something inside of yourself that you're like, I'm going to cultivate this, I welcome this to enter my life, or I accept that I am in proper alignment for this to happen, this to unfold, this to be created by me. By the time we get to August of this year, there's a sense of kind of, you may be looking at that portal even going forward in your life as like a very crucial time, a very highly charged energetic time, a very spiritually succinct time to really get into alignment with your higher self. And again, not just kind of like send that prayer out to the universe, not just wish on the star and kind of wait for divine timing, but it's something that's going to help you to see, you know, you have the ability to kind of wind that clock, to adjust the time for yourself. This is also the energy of, again, like a very kind of masculine driven force, courage, empowerment, action, you know, motivation moving forward. There is a pensiveness with this. There is kind of a, you know, wait for an opportunity. Be very keen with your sights and what you set them on and know when to pounce. But there is a very deliberate energy to this. So it feels like this is, again, a year where there's going to be some opportunities that present themselves, and you're going to know to leap on those. You're going to know because there's certain kind of like synchronicities, like, hey, this is my manifestation coming in, or it's so literal that you can't overlook it, and like, great, okay, that seed of potential that I was nurturing, that I was tending, that I was watering, that I even just let sit and kind of do its thing outside of the realm of my control and influence, I'm now walking like the sun through this year, through kind of the days and months and weeks, and with the intention of like going forward in my life. And so by the time we get to August, this is not going to be something where you're going to have to remind yourself of that. You're going to be shining very brightly. Your manifestations are going to be able to see you. They'll know where to find you. We also have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, so this is the energy of that breakthrough, that new beginning, becoming very aligned with your ability to co-create, with your power as a manifester within your own life. This is something where the old stories have been released, the limited versions of yourself has been released. You have honed yourself, you have cultivated yourself, you have, listened to your intuition, you have crafted that intuition, you have worked with the tools that you have available to you at any given time to do the best that you can to the best of your ability. You have also, allowed for the experience of different kind of skills, different kind of gifts to sort of reveal themselves to you. These can be psychic skills and gifts. These can be gifts of intuition. For some of you, this is even like creative gifts that had been overlooked. And if you're pouring yourself into things like that, this is that energy of, the yes, the acceptance. This is the green light. This is things go your way with this Ace of Swords. That again gives you that kind of clarity that all of this work wasn't for nothing. All of that heavy work of releasing the limiting beliefs or, the people, places, and things that were only holding me back or making me doubt myself or weren't contributing and in alignment with the life that I'm seeking to create for myself, all of that was worth it. It was necessary sacrifices. It was baggage that had to be let go of. It was a skin that needed to be shed in order for this version, the clarified version, the authentic version, kind of the current update of me to be able to move forward into that future that is waiting for me, into the arms of that manifestation, to grasp that manifestation, to really not just be sitting around and kind of dreaming of that better experience in life, but to wake up and it's your lived reality. All of that, it feels like, is going to be something, again, that's going to make you feel very empowered when it next comes time to kind of like set those intentions for bigger change. The power of your mind kind of, to create your reality, for better or worse. This is going to be something, it feels like, that you're going to have a lot of appreciation for that. You're going to have a lot more respect for that. Not in the sense of like, oh, I'm scared to set those intentions, but like, I have respect for the power of my own ability to fine tune my internal world, to know what works and what doesn't, and to fearlessly and unapologetically move in the direction of that. And that is the way I become the key to unlock the door to success in whatever shape that appears for you, in whatever way that, resonates with you. I am the one who grants myself access to that. We also have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is also a time while you are taking steps forward, to kind of sit in the energy of gratitude. Don't forget, like, even though you've sort of shed an old version of yourself, the past has nothing new to say, that it's important as you are stepping forth into more of the embodiment of this moment in time, what is becoming for you, what shall be, that you take time to thank those previous versions of yourself, even the ones that you weren't too fond of, even times where you might have felt that wasn't the best version of me. That version of me kind of like self-sabotaged or didn't make good choices, or, was kind of sitting in an energy that just was sort of low vibrational. Even versions of yourself that you have pity and compassion for. This is like, if you're inclined to sort of look back to the past, rather than, kind of like feeding energy back into those sort of closed off narratives or, people that aren't supposed to be part of your journey moving forward, events and circumstances in the past that you can't change because you're living in the now, moving towards the future, things that you've released that just don't resonate with you anymore or who you're trying to become. That energy, instead of sort of looking in the rear view mirror, it's almost like you can infuse that back into yourself by kind of just shifting the focus, turning your eyes just a little bit and looking beyond kind of those other characters, those other scenes, those other events that took place, and recognize you were there. You were living them. You were contributing to these things. You were experiencing these things. So if that attention, which can be equated with the pure energy of love, that attention, if it's owed anywhere, it's owed to you. It's owed to those previous versions of you, to kind of like the energetic memory of that, as it is something that is still part of the essence of who you are in the here and now. So thank those previous versions of yourself for bringing you this far, even if it was through a path of struggle, to bring you this far to where you have the ability to open your eyes and see that like a brighter future is within reach. It's not kind of off on the horizon. It's here for you now. It's there for you tomorrow. It's a part of you moving forward. We also have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, so it feels like in this fire horse here, there are new relationships that are coming in, new collaborations that are coming in. Something where you're going to be able to, through that energy of having become like torchlight in and of yourself, you're going to be able to really identify and see what are the people, places, and things that contribute to this new version of me. You're not going to have to like vet people out so much, or kind of find yourself in a position where it's like, oh, they had hidden motives, but I overlooked the red flags, so I kind of did that to myself. Or maybe I was totally caught off guard and now I'm back at square one, dealing with heartbreak, dealing with disappointment, needing to pick up the pieces of my life or my emotions all over again. Not that there won't be, kind of challenging relationships or things that test you, but it feels like it's something that you are now standing on the foundation of a version of yourself that maybe wasn't as wise, wasn't as intuitive, needed to go through certain things so that that kind of experience or that sensation or that pattern or those kind of signals are now embedded within you. It's now registered within you. You can see it coming from a mile away. The alarm bells will go off inside of you. You won't be so easily fooled, and in many cases you won't even present as that energy of somebody naive, to where those seeking to take advantage, they don't look at you as an easy mark, so they walk on by and they find another sucker. This is the energy of like, you have stepped into your era of empowerment where you've not just become like a phoenix from the ashes and kind of risen from a previous version of yourself, but there's a sense of almost like you're standing on an unshakable foundation. Everything that tried to break you and break you down, you have survived, you've endured, you are here now moving forward. Yeah, we also have the Seven of Cups, so don't be worried about the illusions. Don't be like on guard, in a heightened capacity. We're just like, okay, I'm stepping into an experience of abundance. Things are going right, so this is the time to be extra cautious. Trust in yourself. Trust in yourself to continue to move in that yang energy very proactively. You are torchlight. Yeah, there's going to be moths that are drawn towards you, but you are the fire, so you're the one that is that life-giving force. You choose what comes into your life, what stays, and what goes. You choose what you don't even entertain or give audience to. And this will help you, it feels like, over the course of the next year to really align with things that, are very transparent, that are very much like, they can't hide in the midst of this energy, this very empowered energy, this very confident energy, this very driven energy, this very determined energy. Yeah, and we also have the Hierophant. So again, this is something where what you are manifesting, what you are experiencing, the life that you are getting ready to step into, or that is getting ready to become incorporated in sort of more of your everyday lived reality, this is something that is tried and true. This is something that will become like part of your legacy. For a lot of you, this year is going to be like one of the best chapters of your life. And it may even just be something where you finally put certain things to rest. You have finally freed yourself from the grip of the past. You finally healed the past. You've forgiven the past. You've forgiven yourself for the past. You're at a place where you're like, I'm happy with me. Not just I'm okay and things could get better, but like, I like me. I like my life. I like what I've created. I like what the future has in store. And that in and of itself, that level of personal satisfaction, that's worth more than anything that money can buy. And for a lot of you, based upon that, building upon that, your life as a whole is going to improve. Better interpersonal relationships, better relationships with finances, better relationships with, your physical body, with your mental health, with your emotional health, with your spiritual journey. All of that experiencing an uptick for the better in a way that speaks to permanence, in a way that can't be shaken, that is very immutable. And we also have the Chariot. So again, this is like things aligning with you. You have become that fire horse energy. It is within you. You can embody that totally. And the universe is like, we're right there with you. Where to next? Full steam ahead. Everything is working in your favor. Everything is working out according to your highest good. And for a lot of you, if you've just been holding on to that notion and you've really been struggling through some storms, this energy of the Chariot is like the sun comes out and you're able to see, finally it is daybreak. Finally, I'm through that darkness. Finally, I'm not just having to kind of like build myself up and convince myself to keep my sights set high until I am elevated, until I am risen. This is the energy of like, you step into that place where there's clarity. You're able to breathe easier. You're able to do that little happy dance. You're able to have that, smile of satisfaction that isn't just kind of like a personal victory, but something that helps to kind of shine out towards others. Others will celebrate you. Others will be drawn towards you. You will be able to discern and decipher and to attract like-minded individuals that are success-oriented, that are motivated, that see that light, that are torches themselves. And so moving forward, in kind of this more empowered group consciousness than has been the case for you before, because you've definitely empowered or activated your own kind of higher mind, your higher consciousness as well. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.